Hey. Okay. I should probably turn off Gilmore Girls. It's probably a good start. I'm gonna make a tea, even though I don't really need one because I'm going to be baking, but it feels so weird to not have a tea when I'm filming. So, last of my fancy Tea Pigs green tea, which actually is all compostable packaging apparently. So, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so hi, welcome. Thanks for joining me. This is probably a weird video to join me on for the first time if you have never watched any of my other videos, but if you are new here, hello, buckle in. Yeah, I kind of figured I'd turn on the camera today because, well, firstly I'm going to do some fun Halloween baking, which I thought might be a great opportunity for content. But also, I mean, I kind of just want to chat a little bit. So we're gonna hang out in my kitchen and have a chat. This looks really weird in the background. I have taken my standing IKEA lamp and my nice little side table and my little essential oil diffuser and put them in the back of the room because this room is very deep and the natural light doesn't go all the way back. So that was really dark background looming behind me, but I think it looks super cozy. And it doesn't make any sense to leave these things in here, but I really like them in here. This is my kitchen, by the way. I don't think you've seen it. If you've been around for a little while with me, you know I bought a house at the end of last year. I never actually did a house tour. I kind of filmed some moving stuff, but then it just felt awkward. It just, I don't know, didn't feel right to me, so I never actually did anything with it. But this is my kitchen. We have painted it, so it's a lovely, like, I think it was a duck egg kind of green that we went with, as you can see here. And that's all we've done with it. Like, this is the kitchen we bought, so thankfully it's functional, but it's not quite my preference either. Although I do really like these tiles. I think they're gorgeous. I don't know why I'm rambling about my kitchen. Hi. Yeah, I guess I'll get my ingredients weighed out, get my hair out of the way for hygiene. I just prefer filming with my hair down, so I thought I'd start with it down. And then I'll put it up, and I've got my cute little baking apron on. Let me stand back. Look at it, it's got polka dots and it's got a little lacy pocket. It's very cute. I have a particular apron for baking and a particular apron for cooking. So, yeah. God, why are you watching this? So I'm making two things today. I am going to be making Rice Krispie pumpkins, which is something I saw on Pinterest a couple of years ago, and I've been making every Halloween since, because they're really easy and they're really cute and obviously really tasty because they're Rice Krispie treats. Who doesn't love those? But they're very easy, so I kind of wanted to do a little bit more than that today. So I'm also going to make little ghost meringues. So like blobs of meringue that look like ghosts even. So that's what I'm doing. Oh, this tea is so good though. I love October so much. I'm so happy it's October. I've got Gilmore Girls in full-blown rewatch mode. The smell of the air, oh my god, and I can't even wait to put up Halloween decorations, but I don't want to be that person who puts them up for the entire month either, so I'm trying to restrain myself a little bit. So I'm just going to get some of it out of my system today with some baking. I'll leave a link to the recipe I'm using for these little ghost meringues. I'm going to start with them because they take longer, but I will leave a little link in the description. I have to I have to wing the recipe for the Rice Krispie pumpkins because I actually don't have the recipe that I usually use. It is actually currently in my mom's house. So I'm just gonna try and wing it from memory. Is there a picture? Yeah. This is what we're making, little ghost meringues. It's from a website called Barley and Sage. So I'll leave a link to it down below. The basic recipe makes 24 meringues. That's way too many. I don't need that. So well, actually it's really handy. You can do it yourself. You can do I've got it set to half recipe, but then there's the full or double or triple, and then you can have it in US measurements or metrics. So meringue based things are usually kind of tricky to make. I'm fairly confident with it because I make macarons pretty regularly, which are not an easy thing to make. And I'm not saying I make them expertly, but I make pretty nice macaron. So pretty confident with meringue. Pastry, on the other hand, I cannot do pastry. I've never in my life been able to do pastry. I bake loads, by the way. I don't even know if people know this about me, unless you know me in person and I've force-fed you my baked goods. But yeah, I grew up baking. I grew up in a very traditional kind of household where we'd bake a dessert from scratch every Sunday. So it's just a skill I have. It's just always been there. And I gotta say, I think I'm pretty good at it. Being raised in a traditional house, I was also taught to be modest, so I don't like complimenting myself, but I'm very good at baking. I really enjoy it and I make some nice things, and everybody that eats my baked goods has lots of nice things to say about them. You only use the egg white when you make meringue, and it has to be a particular weight, and I don't have a kitchen tool to actually separate the egg for me, so I gotta do it the old-fashioned way with the shells. So I need to concentrate, so I'll be right back. This is so stressful, I hate doing it this way. But I don't have a fully stocked kitchen yet because, believe it or not, it takes a long time to get a house together. That table that's down the end of the room there now, I only got that 2 weeks ago, if even. No, last week. We had been using a box as our coffee table in the sitting room. So yeah, it's getting all of the bits done around the house and just trying to remember, hey, what furniture do we actually not have yet? But I really didn't need much sugar at all. Okay, so meringue is pretty much just egg whites and sugar. This recipe also called for some vanilla bean paste, which I had to actually buy specifically because I don't have vanilla bean paste. I have vanilla extract. By the way, don't ever use vanilla essence, use vanilla extract, okay? There's a very important difference. Vanilla essence is cheap crap that's mostly just alcohol. Or water or whatever, I think alcohol. But vanilla extract actually comes from vanilla pods. I just had a little panicky moment there because the recipe said to preheat the oven to 200 degrees, which I did, and then I realized that was Fahrenheit. So apparently 200 degrees Fahrenheit is only 93 degrees Celsius, which sounds not that much for an oven. But look, we crack on, we're following a recipe, let's give it a go. Worst case scenario, it doesn't turn out well, and I don't use the recipe again. So when you are making meringue, or anything meringue based, like a macaron or any of those kind of things, you need to get some kitchen towel. You need to get either vinegar or lemon juice. So if you have half a lemon cut in the fridge, you can just run the lemon around the bowl. I do not. So I'm not gonna open up a lemon just for this when I've got a big giant bottle of white wine vinegar here. It really doesn't matter. You could use apple cider vinegar, you could use malt vinegar. It doesn't matter because you're not going to use enough of it to actually influence any flavors or anything like that. Just a couple of drops and some kitchen towel, and you just need to give your bowl and your whisks a little wipe down with it. And because it is acidic, it's going to take away any leftover grease that might be in your bowl. Even if you're very clean and you keep your bowls very clean, which you should, there will often be a very light layer of grease left over. So just like, it's just a little bit of a wipe down, that's all. Okay, so the egg white goes in the bowl. The recipe also has cream of tartar in there, but I don't have that and I don't feel that it's necessary. It is something you can put in, and I know a lot of professional bakers use that, but I never do, and it always works out fine. So egg whites go in and you just start whisking them. And then when it starts to get a little bit frothy, then you just put small amounts of sugar in. It's said to whisk to soft peaks, so that's kind of what soft peaks looks like. A little bit wobbly, but also sort of holding its shape at the same time. Okay, well that will teach me to be cocky on camera, because as didn't work. So I don't know, was it the quantities or what? The quantities seemed to be right, it was the right kind of ratio, but yeah, unless it was just that maybe skipping the cream of tartar was a bad move, I don't know. I looked it up, apparently if you squeeze a little bit of lemon juice in, like a tiny little bit, it helps, but the more I try, the more soft and runny it seems to be getting. So I'm going to actually just stop, and I'm going to try and pipe them into ghost shapes, but I don't think they're going to come out well because it's very soft. But I'm going to try, because I've come this far. I could very easily just scoop all this into the bin and start over. Like I have enough of everything to do it again, but I don't want to. I want to just keep going. So I'm going to see how I get on. It might be a failure, but at least we'll have had fun getting there. And isn't that the main thing? I think it tastes all right. You want some? I was thinking to myself, there's a trick you can do with a piping bag, where you basically like line it with food coloring, and then you get like, when you pipe out, it comes up in stripes. It looks really good, so maybe I might do something like that. I was thinking maybe if I do it with red, it might look all like bloody and gross. And then even if they don't look like ghosts, they could still be kind of Halloween-y. So I'm going to do something like that. I'll see what colors I have. I got really into cake decorating for a while there. A few years back, I took a class on it and everything. I've got all the little bits and bobs, but people just don't want big flamboyant cakes for just their casual birthdays. So I don't really get an opportunity to do it very much anymore, unfortunately, but the food colorings that I had to get are coming in very handy, especially when I make macarons. They make very cute little macarons. We need a piping tip. I'll put in a picture actually. I made a cute little flower basket cake for my granny's 90th birthday many moons ago. I was quite proud of it. It didn't come out quite as, you know, Instagrammable as I was expecting and seeing in my head, but it came out pretty nice, so I will try and find a photo of it and pop it in so you can see. It's amazing how often I use piping bags, and I'm still really bad at judging how much to cut off the top. So let's start with that and see how we get on. Yeah, my kitchen actually looks so cozy with this setup. We bought a big giant poster. You won't see the video yet because I'm going to put this up first. But we were in Munich a little while back. I have vlogged it, but I'm still working away on it. It's just a finicky kind of vlog. So there are some vlogs coming, but they haven't been up yet. But we went to the Disney 100 exhibition and bought this fabulous gigantic poster. And I want to put it against the back wall there. But it is absolutely huge. So, and it's a little bit damaged because of it was just like, it comes rolled up obviously, and the length of it, the width of it, I guess, be the width of the poster when it's rolled up was just a little bit taller than the suitcase. So I had to bend it to bring it home. And it's a little bit damaged all the way down the middle now. So I'm hoping because it's such a gigantic poster that it won't really be that noticeable. But ideally, I'm gonna put that back there. Okay. All right. Okay. Will this go well? Let's see. You know what I might do? I might put it in to a bowl and dip my spoon into it. So what I'm doing is just getting some on the back of my spoon, and I'm going to stick the spoon into the bag. I might actually need more than this, but I'm just going to put the spoon in, and I'm just going to drag the back of it up the bag. Oh yeah, I definitely need way more than that. Okay. Oh, do you know what I could do? I wonder would that look good or would it just look weird? Do you know what? No, you know what? We're in our experimental era. I'm just gonna drip it right down the side of the bag and see how that goes. Cause that could look all cool and like blood drippy. Oh, that's so Halloweeny, oh my gosh. Okay, I don't know if I'll regret this decision, but right now I'm loving it. Okay, this is so perfect. God, I hope this turns out well. So that was the roof guy that's supposed to be coming out tomorrow. He can actually come by today, so I gotta get this into the oven so that I'm not chatting away to a camera when the roof man arrives. Okay, all right, let's see how well we can do this single-handedly. I usually have somebody helping me when I fill a piping bag because I'm not great at doing it alone. Okay. Oh my God. Check out these bad boys. Oh my God, this is so not what I saw in my head. They're like little macarons. They're like little blood-filled macarons. Ugh, that's a gross sentence. Okay, so update. Waited around for ages for the roof guy to show up, and he didn't because his car broke down. So I had some lunch and I cleaned up after round one of the failure, and I decided I'd try it again, and it worked. So they're cooking away in the oven now, which means I can't show you because you can't open the oven, cooking meringue, but I will take you over here. Oh my God, my oven looks dirty now. God, ovens never stay clean. I clean this thing like a lot. It just never stays clean. It doesn't look great when I show you through my dirty oven door, but it actually worked. So whatever happened the first time, I don't know. Didn't happen the second time. And let's try and get you back into position here because it's time to make the pumpkins. No, that's not how I had you. That's how I had you, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, I don't know the recipe for this one. This video is gonna make me look really incompetent in the kitchen. And I'm really not. But yeah, catching me at a bad time it seems. But I think I remember the recipe. So I'm going to do my best to wing it and eyeball it. Oh, actually, so this is the first round of weird bloody looking meringues, but they cooked all the way through on the bottom, and they're nice little, I mean, I'm sure they taste good. I don't want to try one yet. No, let's try one now actually. Let's try one now because I'm thinking what I might do is if I don't have white chocolate, I might get white chocolate, although that could be very sweet. I was thinking I'd melt white chocolate and then like do a half dip and just turn them into a whole other thing. Might be a bit sweet, but I want to taste it anyway. Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, it tastes good. It's a nice crisp little disc of meringue. A little bit of chew, lovely. Quite pleased with these actually. So I think it's 125 grams of marshmallows. I think it's 125 grams. Do you know what? I might just do 150 because it's one whole bag, then I don't need to keep 20 grams of marshmallows sitting around. So that goes into a pot, and it's just the same amount of butter, 150 in this case. And that's gonna go in to the pot with the marshmallows, but I'm gonna chop it down into smaller pieces just to help it melt, because one big giant thing of butter is gonna take forever to melt down fully. So just gonna break it up, and it's straight out of the fridge as well. So okay, so that just goes on to the heat. Getting my Lily O'Brien's wooden spoon that I bought in a Lily O'Brien's shop years ago, and it is well loved, as you can see. But it's reserved specifically for baking. So that's just on kind of a low heat. I crank it up a tiny bit, but you don't want this to burn because marshmallows are largely just made up of sugar, and sugar burns easily, and it will obviously ruin the taste. And very hot sugar is also just a little bit dangerous. So keep it moving around and stirring, because the butter will help to oil the pan, the pot, so that the marshmallows don't get too stuck to it. So you want to make sure that that's getting well distributed. Oh my god, stop falling out. I'm going to weigh out my Rice Krispies. Well, Rice Crunchies specifically, because they are about €3 cheaper than name brand Rice Krispies. So we're all about being frugal, and they are literally the exact same thing. I'm trying to remember, is it double the butter and marshmallow amount, or is it a bit more than that? So double would be 300 grams, but I feel like I have 400 grams in my head. So, I mean, the great thing is I can just add if it looks like it's not too much. So I'll start with 3, and I'll add to 4 if I need to. Just to show you, it looks super weird for a little while, but then like all of a sudden it comes together. So just make sure you're mixing it well. And my secret ingredient, not really that much of a secret, but throw in a little mini Mars bar or 2. This is what we have, so I'm going to turn this orange. I have one of these little food coloring pastes. It's egg yellow cream, but like quite orange. I just take a knife, and just because it's metal, so it won't, well, specifically it's stainless steel, so it won't absorb the color into it. So just be careful of that. Be careful you don't ruin any nice cutlery or anything. And then I just put it in. I always find with the paste food colorings, you really need to work them in, because they take a lot of stirring to fully break down. You might think you've stirred it all in, and then you might uncover a streak or a glob of it. Kind of thinking I put red in as well, just to help deepen it, because that is a beautiful caramel color right now. It's a day of taking chances. We're going to just go a teensy little bit of red. Literally 1 drop. That's definitely more of a Halloween orange now. So this is getting quite thick now because I've had it off the heat. That's not a big deal because you need it to be a little bit thick to actually mold the shapes into it. All I want to do when I do this is just grab this sticky wooden spoon full of Rice Krispies and just eat it. I must resist. Rice Krispies are all stirred through. You need to give it a minute or so to cool down, because if it's too warm, your hands will stick to it, and I mean, it is a messy, sticky job, so heads up, remove your rings. But if it's that little bit cooler, then it molds better and it's not quite as melty and unstable, I guess, you know, like me. Yeah, I was gonna say earlier, going through a weird time. Don't even know really how to how to describe it. I actually don't think I've mentioned on here before, but during the summer I started writing. I just wanted to give blogging a chance, see how I liked that. So I got off to a really good start with it, and it was kind of almost like a journaling experience, and people liked it and it went down well. And I actually have been forgetting to properly launch it. I have every intention of launching it, but yeah, I got self-conscious about it and I never actually properly launched it and put it out there for people to see. But it was kind of an opportunity for me to get some thoughts out and put them into words. So I suppose really what I was feeling when I wrote that first one was that there's something missing from my life. Getting heavy now. We're making Rice Krispie pumpkins, but we're getting heavy as well. It just feels like I'm going through the motions, you know? Like in that piece I wrote, I was talking about how, you know, my job that I'm in right now is like, it served a particular purpose for me in that it was a very like secure, reliable kind of job that would get me a decent paycheck every month. And it's honestly completely soul destroying. So I'm actually taking a little time out of work at the moment, which is really nice. So I have time to do this and it feels really good, and just kind of doing what feels good for me rather than what I'm expected to do or what I'm supposed to do is just such a lovely, refreshing change. I don't think I've ever really done that. I feel like I've always kind of been living towards someone else's expectations, be that, you know, society or I don't know, authority figures or whatever it is, like, you know, your parents, your bosses, whatever. Yeah, I'm kind of just living a bit of a like cottagecore kind of life right now. Going out for walks and doing creative things and drinking lots of tea. And it feels really nice. Kind of at a point in my life where I feel like maybe it's time to put me first a little bit more. And that means something different every time as well. Like putting me first this time 2 years ago meant something completely different to what it would mean now. And maybe 2 years from now, it might mean something completely different again. I don't know, I'm just trying to be a little bit more active online because I do have such a lovely community. You guys are also lovely. And you know, I've kind of made new connections through this and through the blog. It just feels really good. So just wanted to be an open book about it. This is where I am right now. That I'm just going to be living for my peace of mind and peace of self rather than trying to, you know, fit a particular mold. And maybe it's a temporary thing, you know, maybe it's just like I might just take a year away from conventional work and do more kind of side hustle type things, And then maybe after that I might return to the working world. Because again, if you don't know me in person, you probably wouldn't know, but I have been job searching for about 7 months now, and getting nowhere. So that's pretty difficult. And at this point, I'm kind of just starting to wonder, am I just looking in the wrong place? I'm looking for, basically, I don't have any sort of particular big highfalutin kind of job. Like, I just work in an office. I just do like office management, admin type stuff. But I was looking for something that was a little bit different than where I am at the moment, and can't seem to get my foot in the door anywhere. So it's a very hard job market out there, and I think maybe it's time to just focus on what I know I'm good at, like baking, creativity. Maybe it's just sort of a bit of soul searching, a bit of trying to find myself. It occurred to me today as well, like, I never did the whole finding yourself thing that most people do when they, that a lot of people might take a gap year in college or before college or before they go into a job or a career or something. I'm like, I never did that because I was always just about getting financial stability and financial independence, which are important things. Like, don't get me wrong, it served me very well. I'm 28 years old and I'm a homeowner. Not single-handedly, but it wasn't for nothing. It wasn't all in vain, but I'm only 28. So I am likely going to be in the working world for at least another 40 years. I just don't want to be doing a job that completely drains me, that makes me just feel like crap every day, that I'm not using any skills that make me feel like a valuable person. I answer phones and I file paperwork and stuff, and there's no shame in that, honestly. Like, that is not what I'm saying at all. There's literally no shame in it, but I just don't think I can do it for my entire adult life until I retire. But I'm also thinking that maybe just even like office-based work, just in general, doesn't suit me. It's not for people really in general. Like, I was reading someone online talking about how it's one of the most unnatural things that we do as humans, because we're not supposed to be sitting in cubicles looking at spreadsheets and whatever all day. Like, that's not in our evolution. We didn't evolve this far just to do Excel all day long. There are people who thrive in those kinds of environments, and that's great, good for you. I am just feeling, feeling like an animal in a cage, working in an office. So taking a little me time, taking a little restorative, healing kind of time, and just trying to clear my head enough to figure out the next move. But what I've been doing here with my sticky hands is basically just get a good handful. Depends on how big you want them, but about a handful. And you just want to form it into sort of a ball in your hands. It's a sticky job, and you kind of have to like scrape your hands against each other a little bit to make sure, because if you leave a coating of stickiness on one hand, it will just pull it apart. And then also your hands shouldn't be too warm, so every few of these you're probably going to want to run them under cold water. Get it into a relative circle, and then very carefully, because if you put too much pressure on it, it will just fall apart. So you're going to want to kind of cradle it a little bit in one hand, and then use your thumb to create a bit of an indent in the top. Just push together any bits that are falling apart. Make it kind of like a red blood cell sort of shape. The dipped in top. And I'm just setting them down here, which I'm not sure if you can see. I've just set out a cooling rack with a sheet of greaseproof paper over the top. These are going to go into the fridge to set. Now, the fun part about taking a little break before you wash your hands is that you can gather up any of the gunk on your hands and eat it. And it's delicious. So what is going to make them look very much like pumpkins are Rolos. Probably should have just bought one individual tube, but I bought a multi-pack, which means I'm going to have to eat Rolos now for weeks until I get rid of them. I'm just going to have to. So, get one of your pumpkins, get a Rolo. I wouldn't usually do this hovering in the air for, structural stability. But you're not going to be able to see it down there. So, you get a Rolo. You're going to just press it into that little indent you made. You're also going to kind of mold the Crispies up around it, just so that they can grip onto it like that. So then you have yourself a little Rice Krispie pumpkin. What I have seen people do online is get a little bit of green icing, like buttercream or something like that, and get a leaf piping tip and do a few leaves. I kind of just emotionally offloaded onto you. I don't know if that's what you came here for. So if you're still with me, thanks. I kind of feel like just maybe being able to share these kinds of things on my platforms is giving me a creative outlet to help with my thought process and give me ideas maybe, I don't know. Okay, so the little ghosts are all done. They cook for an hour and then you have to leave them in the oven to fully cool and set. So it's been a couple hours, but they're done. And they're all a little bit different. They don't really look like traditional ghosts, but I'm using one of my little paintbrushes and I had a tiny little bit of dark chocolate left that I can use for this. You could use like an icing pen as well if you want, but I'm just going to put little chocolate faces on them. Yeah, it's a sad little ghost because I spilled some chocolate, so we're gonna lean into it, and it's a sad ghost. With a little curl on its head. Oh, okay. And then I've got like this blobby one. Oh my god, it kind of already has a face. Oh my god, can you see that? It's like 2 eyes there. And a little sideways smile. I'm gonna use that. That's my template for this guy. So there's my ghost with the cheeky smile and a little raised eyebrow. I'm gonna struggle with this chocolate off camera for the rest of this. But here's the ghosts and the pumpkins. Oh, is that one correct? That one's correct. Look them that way. Well, now that that is done, thank you for spending the day with me. I liked this. This was nice. I might do more kind of at home things while I'm at home. Because I don't usually get this kind of time. So we'll see. I don't know, I might say that and then like not think of anything else interesting to do. But anyway, the point is, thank you for hanging out with me today. I loved having your company. Like the video and subscribe if you're new, and leave me a comment if you'd like to say hi or talk about Halloween. And I'll see you again in another video. Bye. No, don't do that, don't do that. There we go. Jesus, Mary and Joseph, I'm bloody useless by myself. Stop falling! Holy crap.